All right. Sorry about that, guys. I had to update to be a market recap, not the morning note. All right, guys. Good afternoon. Welcome aboard to the aftermarket recap. I just ordered a webcam to be delivered to the office. When you see the webcam, it's because I'm at home. But now I just ordered it on Amazon. It should be here tomorrow. So hopefully I'll have that ready for you guys, worst case by Thursday, the actual webcam. But I'm here at the office. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome aboard to the aftermarket recap. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. It is Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022. Yes, 2/2/22 or 2/22/22. Very fun with numbers. All right, hope everyone's having a nice day. Before we begin, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, click on that white logo, turn on notifications, subscribe to our channel, like our videos, appreciate it. Again, I apologize, no webcam since I'm working from the office. I just ordered a webcam because I'm working from the office computer. So again, you're here to hear about the markets and answer your questions, not look at my ugly mug. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about it. The Dow lost 482 points. It was down as much as 650 today. The NASDAQ futures were actually green at one point, but the NASDAQ composite, the cash NASDAQ fell 1.23%, S&P down 1%, 1.01%, 4304 on the S&P futures, S&P, excuse me, cash. So we're right at 10% correction. We revisited that. Equal weight ETF of the S&P down 1%. Small caps did fall today 1.41% on IWM. The dollar index ended flat. Yields crept up a little bit, 1.948%. GLD gold gained 0.21%. SLV 0.86%. Over in fixed income bond land, high yield credit lost 0.23%, 8270. Investment grade bonds down 0.13%. Crude oil did fall after Biden's remarks to 91.61. We were as high as around 94.95 at one point. Gasoline futures came back down a little bit as well after those remarks. There was a little bit of a big flush or big volume candle on the futures, but they're up 1.6%, 285 a gallon. 1900 for gold futures, right at 1900. Be careful at this level here if you're long gold because we're starting to test that double top here on the daily. So just keep an eye on that. And silver, taking a look at that here, bottom left-hand corner of your screen. You can see that we're getting close to a double top as well. We still haven't broke above that 200-day moving average on silver futures. Until that breaks, then we can have some meaningful talks about going long SLV. But until then, nothing is really set in stone as of yet. Taking a look at Bitcoin futures, 37,890. Bitcoin spots at 37,939. Ethereum futures 2606, down another 6%. Some of the big movers today, Roku up 8.46%. I own that stock. DraftKings, I also own as well. They were up 7.5%. AMD up 1.6%. They actually had a good day on Friday. They were also price upgraded by, I believe, Rosenblatt. Pinterest also gained. Big losers today, Upstart down 7.34%. Space reported earnings. We'll go over that. CGC was down. So again, some of the high beta names did gain today, but then they fell as we had a really choppy session. So if you take a look at the S&P futures on the day, again, this is the best way I can take a look at everything. We had a nice pop right around 5 in the morning, kind of stabilized until 10 a.m., kind of stuck in that range between 43.60 and 43.20, about 40 handles. Then we dropped. We started to get to around 42.71. Interesting enough, right as we held 42.60. 42.60 has been that level I've been talking about for a while. We did wick below it yesterday, but again, we've still been holding up above that 42.60 level. Is it time to be bearish? I mean, like I said, it's been just a crazy one. And you could see all this was down, and then Biden started talking, bounced up, more sanctions in terms of the United States and Europe against Russia. Then we had some big moves, big volatile moves towards the last tail end of the session, 43.30 being the high and 42.84 being the low, about a 50 handle move. And then we got a nice bounce towards the end of when we actually closed for the day. So it's just been a hectic one. So again, like I talked about this morning, you just kind of have to sit on your hands. For the most part, it's been just a wild one. We did catch SPY calls on a bounce. The 435 calls, we got 40 up to 50% on it. I was a quick scalp on that one. And then we caught Nvidia. We have Nvidia calls running right now. Nvidia was actually holding up pretty nicely as we are looking here. What I'm looking here on Nvidia is really the holding of the 200-day moving average, which is the red line. And again, I think we do bounce. We'll probably get to around 243 on that, that 20-day moving average. If anything, we have a little more upside. I'm just waiting for that break of 240.65. Then we should revisit the top of that wick here on the 18th of February, around 250. And then there we probably may go sideways until then. Remember, they had a really great quarter as well. But again, Ukraine and Russia not doing traders any favors, and it's just been an absolute mess. So let's go over today in terms of what groups did well, what groups didn't. Here we are. Utilities, the best of the worst, let's just call it. Consumer cyclicals were the worst today. Performers, technology and industrials, healthcare and real estate kind of holding it down. Financials down 0.61%. Taking a look at the heat map. Again, not a lot of places to hide. Even consumer defensives were down, and I talked about that being kind of a safe haven. PepsiCo was green. Monster Beverage was green. Mondelez was green. Kraft Heinz was up today. But Target, Dollar General, Costco, Walmart, Procter & Gamble, there was nowhere to hide here today. AMD did well today, like we talked about. McDonald's did okay. Nike was down 3%. Tesla down 4%. Home Depot had a stellar quarter, but they sold it down about as much as 10%. Closed down 8.85%. Facebook is holding on to that $200 level, down 2%. I'm still holding shares. Apple down 1.78. Microsoft pretty flat. To me, that's pretty safe as it gets. Microsoft for a growth company. But the regional banks did pretty well. Didn't really help IWM, which is what usually does well as the regional banks, smaller mid-cap banks, since there are a lot of them on IWM. Even crude didn't have a great day. Again, we talked about that fall right when Biden was talking today in his press conference. So again, not a lot of places to hide today. Just one of those days where it's just, kind of short week, kind of digesting all the news with Putin, Ukraine, and the United States, kind of Cold War 2.0 in a sense. Where do we go from here is the question. Very difficult to say. Anyone who really knows, I can't BS you guys and say, yeah, for sure we're going to go here, because anything can happen. Again, Putin hasn't really responded to anything that Biden said today. So again, we may get some overnight headlines. I'll keep you guys up to date on Twitter as always. Here we are. This is the tweet deck that I use. Again, G.A.R Capital right here. There was another note from JPM. Russia-Ukraine crisis could force a reassessment of the Fed tightening path, resulting in central banks turning less hawkish, while policymakers may consider additional fiscal stimulus. You cannot make this stuff up, people. It's absolutely insane. So maybe we won't get as much tightening as before. Maybe. Who knows? So again, that remains to be seen. But man, it's just so much moving parts here. You just have to be extremely tactical. Today, I didn't do anything in terms of the market other than trade SPY, just kind of leaving things as is. Want to see where things go moving forward. There was some earnings today. Let's go over it today. I'll go ahead and move this over so you guys can actually see it. Space Q4 down 30 negative EPS of 31 cents versus a 39-cent estimate negative. Revenue was $100,000 versus $0 year over year. Yeah, guidance, they actually made $100,000 in revenue space. I don't know how that can be good moving forward. A company that doesn't make that much revenue. As you know, small, at least high beta names have revenue. They may not be profitable, but the revenue is there. Space doesn't have any of that. That's really scary. The adjusted EBITDA down 65 million versus 60 million year over year. Guides 85 million to 75 million. I don't know why this company's public. I traded it. I owned it. I closed it for a slight gain. I think it was like up 0.5% when I closed it last year. I'm so glad I did. Let's take a look at Space's price action after hours. And they are up after hours. You really can't make this stuff up from 782 to 805. Wow. Teladoc reported a negative 7-cent EPS versus a negative 59-cent EPS. So a nice beat, even though negative. Revenue was 554 million versus 548 million. I like Teladoc. I own Teladoc. And the problem is that they're down after hours. They're down about $5. Their guidance was right. Guides Q1 total visits 4.3 to 4.5 million. Their guidance revenue was 565 million through to 571 million range. The estimate was 588 million, so that's a miss. Adjusted EBITDA 51 to 55 million. Their fiscal year 2022 guidance, which at least they're doing, $2.55 to 2.65 billion versus a 2.57 billion estimate adjusted EBITDA of 330 to 355 million. So at least they make revenue. They may not be profitable as yet. I've actually used Teladoc through my insurance, so I kind of had a thing with using them because they're actually pretty cool. I like them. I like to own stocks that I actually have used before. That's just me personally. So again, ugly tape after the after hours. I don't know how space is up yet. Teladoc is down, but pick your reason. Melly is a one. Mercantile Libre is everyone always asks me about. So here's some of the earnings. They are up after hours. The Q4 GAAP earnings was negative 92 cents versus 89-cent estimate and a positive. So again, from a negative EPS versus a positive EPS estimate. So a miss. 2.13 billion versus 2 billion in revenue. So that's good. Gross merchandise volume, $8 billion, 32.2% year-over-year growth. That's good. Total payment volume of 24.2 billion, 72.8 billion year-over-year. Items sold was up 25.5 billion year-over-year. So again, Melly actually benefited from their growth. And you can see here from 887 to 969 after hours. Very cool to see if you are a Mercantile Libre owner. So, but other than that, space looked pretty bad. I don't know how they are a company. Maybe, again, it's a very early stage of a company. They haven't really had any customers that have been taken to space yet. They have reservations. At least Teladoc does stuff in terms of that. But either way, that's where we are. Yeah, just been an insane, kind of hard to decipher what's happening. I mean, it's almost one of those opposite day. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Seinfeld, where George Costanza kind of does the opposite of what he's used to, and then he gets all the luck. It's kind of one of those, kind of a weird market. I mean, in the first second, you think we're going to tank. If you had puts overnight, you pretty much got crushed. Over the weekend, you got crushed. If you had calls, you were crushed. It was an absolute disaster in terms of trying to play some kind of scalp overnight. I mean, look at this choppy price action. We had a range of 43.60 to 42.60, 100 handles on the S&P in terms of pure range. That's pretty chop. That's pretty ugly. Very tough tape to trade. But either way, I mean, you just have to stay patient here. I mean, we got one trade today. We have one more trade open. I want to see how we do from there moving forward. If we can get Nvidia tomorrow, I have a feeling that tomorrow we're going to pop because it's opposite day in a sense where we're just going to go ahead and pop just because that's where we are. It's a weird market because there's so many headlines. I think what's happening in the market is that the unknown is creeping in. We don't know what will happen with Russia. We don't know if there's World War III. We don't know if it's a Cold War. We don't know if it's Crimea 2.0. We don't know what the hell is going to happen, and the market is very jittery on that. At least with the Fed and at least with inflation, we have data and concrete data to go by. There is no concrete data dealing with Russia and this geopolitical stuff. So it's a very difficult one. Will we bounce down the line? Yeah, of course. Everything moves forward. I did a video on that on Instagram if you want to go and take a look yesterday. Obviously, just like COVID, we passed it. We move on. Things pass, but again, the timing. When will it end? When will we hit a bottom? So that remains to be seen. Drew asked about Home Depot. Why do you think it came down? I didn't see in terms of their earnings. Let me see their guidance if I can take a look here. Macy's had a great report this morning. You could see they popped and then dropped. Of course they did because that's the market right now. Take a look at Macy's. Macy's had a great report, $2.45 versus a $2 estimate. Great EPS, beat on revenue, $2 billion share repurchasing program, raises dividends. I mean, this is a straight A report card from your kids. And yet the thing was sold off. It's basically saying your kids got straight A's and the report card and you punish them anyways. That's what Macy's is at today. Unreal. Look at this. Got as high as 28.21 and we ended the day red. Wow. That's where we are. Let's take a look here at Home Depot. If I can bring this up. Home Depot's earnings. Let me see if I can find it. I did see it earlier. Usually is on Trade the News. I guess it was not. Let me see if I can find it here on Stock Market News. They're pretty good at this. Home Depot. Let me search for it. I just want to see if there's any kind of guidance that was missed. That's the only thing I can see explained. Let's see here. And I did retweet Home Depot's earnings earlier. Home Depot. Here we go. Home Depot today declared a quarterly dividend of $1.90 a share, so they increased their dividend from a previous dividend of 165. That's not going to help. Reported earnings this morning, 321 EPS, beating expectations and beating on revenues. I don't see anything in terms of forward guidance, but increasing your dividend, how is that bad? I don't know how he can help. I don't know how you could do anything more than that. I like Home Depot. I own Home Depot, but am I worried about? Am I looking to buy the dip right now? No, because there's so much, things out there in terms of moving parts. It's scary out there. Let's be honest. It's one of the points that you don't know what to do. You're treading on water. You don't know what you're doing. So again, right now, you just want to kind of hold pat. Don't freak out. Don't do anything crazy that you're going to regret 5 years down the line. I saw the video recently of the guy who sold 10,000 Bitcoin for pizza, which was, I thought that was funny. Sorry, I had to bring that up. I saw it today on Instagram. My level to buy at more Home Depot is right around 27.39. I do own some Home Depot. I love the stock long term. I had some lows before and I sold that for some profit with Investment Club last year. So again, Home Depot is fine. There was some numbers in terms of real estate numbers that came out, pending home sales that came out. Let me see if I can find it here. Maybe that'll kind of give us a little bit of a insight to what happened. Let's see if I can get the number here on what exactly came up in terms of home purchase, home values. Home values were up. I can find it. Consumer confidence was today. I know that. Here we go. Home price growth surged to a record 2021 as low interest rates prompted buyers to compete fiercely for homes for sale. That was on the Wall Street Journal. I do have an account with the Wall Street Journal. See what the number was. 18.8% increase in the past 12 months in terms of homes. First-time home buyers in the market fell to 27% in January, down from 33. So again, homes are getting priced out for people. I guess that kind of makes sense where maybe Home Depot's comps will go down in terms of that. But again, I can't really pinpoint on that. I mean, Macy's had an amazing quarter, guys. And look at that thing. That thing went down. So again, it's one of those things, white is black and black is white. I mean, kind of go backwards here. So you just have to look. But yeah, that makes no sense to me. Do you think Facebook will hold this level or hit around 170 before gap daily is filled? Tough to say. I mean, we've been kind of treading on that $200 level. You can see the daily, very, very ugly. Let's take a look at the weekly. I can see that 170 level you're talking about. I don't see the gap you're speaking of. I'm looking at a 3-year chart on the weekly candles. I don't see a gap there. But again, the lowest point we got was the COVID lows, which is right around 137. I don't think we get there. Obviously, pending some disaster, maybe. I think really probably the lowest it'll probably go is maybe 180 at the end of the day. At 170, I mean, now we're just kind of counting pennies in front of a locomotive. A tough one to say. I own Facebook. You just almost have to cover your nose. Facebook has a great balance sheet. Obviously, they're pivoting to more metaverse, as we know. The fact of the matter is Facebook kind of sucks. Let's be honest. The platform is terrible. I haven't used that platform in forever. Instagram is fine. Even Instagram is a pain in the ass. Even our social media people don't try to put too much stuff on our posts because people miss it. And on the fucking bots, man, it's terrible. I'm sorry to curse, but the bots are driving us bananas. It's all the damn bots, which kills it. So Facebook has to kind of keep moving forward and try to fix those things. And I think once they do in the metaverse and they pivot, maybe there's some more value there. But again, they're a cash machine. They make great money, but that's where we are right now. That's the market we are in. We're in a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty. Take a look at the VIX today, and you can see the VIX kind of a double top on the 1 hour. So again, you could see as we got to 32, we rejected. Now we're at 2181. What does that mean on the daily? That means that we may revert to the mean. So again, I'm kind of leaning slightly bullish. Obviously, I know I always say I'm bullish, but at the end of the day, I mean, I'm taking a look at a lot of factors. The only thing that stands out that's kind of unknown is what Putin's going to do or Russia's going to do. I mean, if they roll down tanks through Ukraine's capital tomorrow, then all this is for naught. So we don't know what the hell's going to happen. So if you're talking about the actual underlying fundamentals of the economy and technical levels, yeah, I would say stay bullish here. But again, that's not the case. We have so much uncertainty out there. It's really hard to pinpoint. Will it pass? Yes. When will we know it will pass? No idea. No idea. So you just have to kind of wait it out. And that's the hardest part is kind of just be patient and kind of just your emotions get involved. And that's what's so hard about trading. Everything is between the ears. It's all your mind and all your emotions. And right now, the best thing to do is kind of just sit on your hands and just kind of wait for everything goes. What's your opinion on Tesla? Daniel's asking. Let's take a look. Tesla right below 800. I like to buy it there. Again, the only thing that makes me worry is more of this Russia stuff. And you probably say to yourself, well, Carlos, nothing with Russia has to do with Tesla. Well, unfortunately, now it does, because now we have commoditized stocks with the futures market. So now it affects everything. Again, everything is done with a blink of an eye with algos. Algos will sell stocks on bad news. And on the other side, algos will buy stocks on good news. So again, if we had a really good inflation number, let's just say, or a good GDP number, how does that really affect Tesla on a macro level for their company? Not really, not much. Retail sales, I can see that, but not really inflation numbers, but yet it'll be affected. That's what happens. We've commoditized stocks. Stocks now, individual companies are now treated like corn, coffee, oil, gold, you name it. And that's what makes it very tough as an investor long term, because they see these short term moves, but yet they don't zoom out and see exactly where it's come from. And you can see where Tesla was and where it is now. Granted, there's been splits, but you can see what Tesla has done over the long term. And you can see the same thing with Facebook over the long term. Over a past 10-year period, look how it's done. Now, it's cut a lot of it down, obviously. But again, if you're an investor and you're looking to retire, you're doing for your 401k, Facebook is fine long term. You're going to have to deal with a little bit of a stormy weather here and there. But again, this is why index funds just make life easy. SPY-G, my favorite index to trade or to own. Again, obviously it's down, but you could see over time, over a 20-year period, how it's done. If you just want to do SPY to make life easy, and you could see it. Again, you're going to have some short-term movements, but at the end of the day, you can't really do anything right now because we don't know what's going to happen, and that's the scary part. And MC Punch says, thank you for doing this. Daniel says, appreciate you, bro. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate all the love and support that you guys give. I apologize. I was out last week. I'm back at it. I'm glad to be back to see the markets. And again, it's just one of those things, guys, where we just have to wait and see. I wish I can give you some more concrete advice or more information. I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did. But again, it's really just timing. Will this pass? Yes, guys, things will pass. When? I have no idea. That's the best I can give you. The best we can do here is look at it intraday moves, see what's the good setups moving forward. Watch tomorrow be green, because that's how the market's going to be. It's going to be green for no reason, probably. And if we're red, we're red. But again, I have a feeling tomorrow we're going to be green. Now, I don't trade on feelings, obviously, but it would just be hilarious to see that we got green tomorrow on basically nothing. That's just a frustration. You want to pull your hair out. And at the end of the day, you just have to watch. That's it. We'll go and leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your afternoon. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the morning note, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the G.A.R Capital YouTube channel. Make sure to hit that like button if you love these videos. I promise I'll get the webcam very soon. I believe Amazon says it should be tomorrow, so it should be all set. Have a good one, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Cheers.